Hi guys, so this is one of those days when I decided, oh, this is a nice recipe. Let me shoot a video. So what I have going here in my pot is 1 pound of ground beef, and this is 80/20 beef. I didn't add any oil to it, so I'm just stirring it and making sure I break it up and brown it before I add my sausage. This is 1 pound of mild sausage, which I'm also going to brown and break up and just mix up with the beef. Make sure that everything is well mixed in before you add your onions. This recipe is really good if you like stirring food because you can stir to your heart's content. That is one medium chopped onion. I cut it into little cubes so that it could cook down real fast. I put it in and stirred, and once I stirred, I'm gonna add 1 tablespoon of tomato paste. Onto that, I'm holding the spoon there because I'm trying to decide if it's enough. So I'm stirring and looking at it, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's enough tomato paste. So stir some more, and then here we go. I'm gonna add 2 cans of tomato sauce, and this is the Happy Valley, which is an Aldi brand. Rinse that tin. We don't want to leave any tomato sauce behind. At this point, I'm telling myself, ooh, I really should buy another can opener, which is what I always say every time I use it. Stir this and just let it boil on low. And if you cook with tomato sauce, or if you make any tomato sauce, any tomato based sauces, you know that is liquid lava. So be very careful when you stir that. And then here I am, I'm assembling the casserole. Oh, I didn't mention it. I'm making an egg noodle casserole. I got my noodles right here. I have some green onions. What I'm trying to open there is some cottage cheese, and what I just opened before was some sour cream. I'm going to add about 1 cup of cottage cheese. I'm going to mix that real good in there. And I'm going to add in my sour cream. At this point, after I added in the sour cream, I was like, oh, you know what? That looks like a lot of dairy. You know what I'm going to do? I mixed it in, but I could smell the sour cream and the smell was really strong. So you know what I did? I added more noodles. There you go. If you look carefully, you'll notice that the volume of noodles is going to go up at some point. That's because I'm going to add some more egg noodles. 1 pack of egg noodles has just a little shy of a pound. And the recipe does call for a pound of noodles. So when I added it, it kind of evened out. And there we go. If you look closely, there's the extra noodles. Ha! So smooth you almost didn't notice it. So I'm gonna mix that in, and then I'm gonna start assembling this. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna try and layer this like a lasagna. It's almost like a deconstructed lasagna. So I'm gonna take my ground beef and ground sausage, and I'm gonna layer it. I'm gonna make the first layer is gonna be the noodles. Make sure you you grease your baking dish really well because you don't want this to stick. You want to get every little bit of yummy goodness out of your baking dish. So the first layer, the bottom layer, is going to be the mix of your noodles. And you're going to put a nice and healthy layer in there. And then you're going to put in some ground beef. Now, at this point, I would like to advise you that if you can, please make this with 2 pounds of ground beef. Because at this point, I'm looking at this and I'm like, you know what? I probably have more noodles than beef, but I'm going to make it work somehow. Then you're going to put in about 1 cup of cheese over the first layer. The pack I'm holding is 2 cups of cheese. And there we go. I'm going to pile on those noodles because I'm not going to have any leftovers. Because if I leave them over and keep them in the fridge, I bet you I'm not going to use them for anything else. So once that is done, I'm going to stretch that ground beef because it was not a lot, and this is the point where I started regretting why I did not use 2 pounds of ground beef. And I had bought like 5 pounds of ground beef and separated it into little tiny discs. I really should have used 2 pounds of beef, but it was still delicious. And then you're gonna take about 1/4 cup of green onions, and you're going to put on top of that, and then you're going to put in your last cup of cheese. Sprinkle that all over that. If you're lactose intolerant like I am, this one calls for extra lactate because it's super filled with dairy. And then you're going to bake it at 350 for 30 minutes. And here we are slicing into that yummy goodness. Tell you what, if I ever gave you a recipe and you did not try, this is not it. This was so good. We had leftovers for days, and every single day when I asked my baby what she wanted to eat, this was always her first choice. I hope you try it. Bye bye, guys. Love you. Please subscribe.